versus Mary McGee, the one and only professional boxer. And this is 21 questions.
All right. It's been a long time coming, man.
I know.
What's your real name?
Mary McGee. Well, Mary Ann McGee, but I try to keep the Ann out because people try to be funny with my name.
So your first name is Mary Ann? That's old school name. That's blessed.
Yeah. I'm named after my grandma.
Okay. That's my grandma's name too.
Oh, is it?
Yep. And they call her Annie.
Oh, wow.
Yep. How old are you?
37.
And where are you from?
Gary, Indiana.
Where about?
The east side.
Like what area?
You want to know exactly?
Yeah, I want to know where you're
Marshalltown.
Oh, yeah.
MTC, yeah, I'm from
MTC, what
Marshalltown.
does that stand for?
Marshalltown, Compton. How do I say it?
Commons?
Yeah, something like that. I call it Marshalltown Terrace, personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you from the old Marshalltown or the new Marshalltown?
New Marshalltown.
New Marshalltown. So you grew up over there like with CJ So Cool and...
Down the street from him, we used to ride the school bus together.
What was that like, the Marshalltown days? Because my auntie used to live on Iowa, so I used to be over there.
It used to be so much fun. We used to ride our bikes. Everybody used to come outside. Everybody was pretty much close, especially back in the day.
Yeah. What you feel like, why you feel like it changed?
The internet. People started being on the internet more in the house, staying away from each other. Kids not outside on bikes, stuff like that.
That is true. What schools did you attend?
I went to Drew School for elementary. Look at her. I went to Pulaski, and then I went to Roosevelt.
Okay, Pulaski Colts, Roosevelt Panthers. What year you come out?
Ooh, 2006.
Okay, so you went to Velt when it was still mighty.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about that Velt culture, like, because I didn't get to go to Velt, but my whole family went to Velt.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know about the Roosevelt song. I know about the band director, how he ain't played no game. Like, you hear about all these stories. Kind of talk to me about what was it like going to the mighty Roosevelt.
Back then, when schools used to play against each other, like Wallace and Word, we had like competitions, and we was all serious about it. And I was big on being the Panther back then. And then everybody from the east side went to Roosevelt. We all used to have like the little psych cops or the pep rallies.
And the
together.
psych cops used to be busting.
We used to have all that, like a big family. It just ain't the same. All these little, what they call these little schools?
Charter schools.
Charter schools and whatnot, yeah. It ain't the same.
What was your first favorite song that you can remember? Your first favorite song?
Dang, my first favorite song? I think it was a Michael Jackson song, I'm Bad.
Yeah? You remember singing that?
Yeah. Hey, you know Mike from the city, so.
Yeah, it has to be put on for the hometown.
Right.
And you just talked about like sports and playing against each other and stuff like that, so that kind of took me to my next question. I had read something up about you and it said that you was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And that you followed somebody to the gym from school.
Yeah.
And that's how you got introduced, I guess, to the gym, like boxing stuff.
Right.
So kind of take me through that, because when I'm reading up online, I don't get the full story.
So it's like fake, for real. I always was aggressive and liked to fight. And then I met this guy, and he used to always leave and go somewhere. I'm like, where are you going? He like, I'm going to the boxing gym. I'm like, man, we ain't no boxing in gear. You know, we ain't got much in gear. So I'm like, ain't no boxing in gear. He like, yes, it is. It's right over here, over the hill. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with you. So I'm supposed to be going to a basketball game. I got on my little cheerleading outfit. He taking me to a boxing gym. So when I walk in there, it was like, whoa. I was like, is this for real? He like, yeah. I'm like, so I walk up to the coach. He was like, you can't be here. I'm like, why? He was like, I don't want no girls in my gym. I was like, okay. He was like, you can only stay if you gonna box. I was like, well, sign me up. I want to box. He was like, you don't want to box? I was like, yes, I do. Mm-hmm. And then he signed me up to box. It's been history ever since that.
Was it like intense for you? Did you ever say?
So he let me.
He tried to like haze you?
He let me stay there for 3 days and trained, and he put me in the arena boxing. I got beat up real bad. And then when I got beat up, he thought I was
a girl or boy?
A girl and a boy.
Damn.
The girl kind of like a real rough girl. And then this guy, so he thought I wasn't gonna come back no more. And I went home. Every day I would train in my backyard, day in and day out. And I would still go to the gym until I could beat them up. And then when I was able to beat them up, he put me in a tournament. He didn't even know I was good. And it ended up being 3 girls that I could fight. And we had to fight Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I beat all 3 of them. And he was like, oh, you might really be good.
It wasn't that you couldn't fight, maybe you just had to figure out the technique of boxing, or what was it that you feel like when you got in the ring?
It wasn't me, it was the coach. He didn't have no females. Think about it. I'm still, to this day, after 25 years, the only female from here that box. So it was no girls for him to say what I was going to be.
Right.
So that's why he gave me such a hard time.
Okay. I can understand.
Yeah. It wasn't like a blueprint I was following. I was like basically blazing my own path at this time. So.
But like even when you got in the ring for that first time, even though he probably didn't believe, like when you got in, what do you feel like you needed to work on? Was it just the technique?
Yeah,
you lost, but then you came back and you came back strong.
Well, see, that was sparring. That was just practice.
Okay.
That I had lost at that time.
Okay.
So it was just that they were more experienced than me. Like, I think the girl had been a year at that time. And I think he let her stay because she was real, like, tomboyish, rough. And I was still feminine, but I wanted to be a boxer.
Right.
So he didn't really want me there.
Because you probably distracted guys.
That's exactly what it was.
Okay. How did you get the nickname Merciless Mary Mcgee?
The coach, John Taylor, gave me that name because although I can fight, my technique wasn't that great. So I would literally go out there when I would box, I would close my eyes and I would throw a 1-2 like this and I would never stop. No matter if I was getting hit, my head was flying, I would keep throwing my 1-2 until the girl dropped or quit. So my coach started calling me merciless. He said, I don't care what's happening, you keep fighting, you merciless. And that's when he started calling me that.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to hate it at first, now I love it.
Why you didn't like it? Because you felt like it wasn't feminine?
I was a kid. I'm
How old was
16.
Oh.
When he gave me that name, and he, Merciless Mary. I'm like, oh, I hate that. Man, he used to call me that. But,
that's tight though.
Yeah.
Who was your first unprofessional match? So it was the 3 girls?
That was in my amateurs, when I was an amateur.
Amateur, right.
Yeah.
So that was your first fight?
My first, no.
But who was your first, like, fight but not pro?
But a boxing match, right?
Yeah.
So it was this girl from East Chicago. I don't remember her name. I'll never forget this though. She came to Gary and she was fighting me in the Gleason Pavilion. And I remember she was hitting the pads and it was loud. Pow, pow, pow. And I remember falling down on the ground like, hey y'all, she gonna kick my ass. But I ended up winning the fight.
Okay.
But that was my first fight. I remember that. Yeah.
That's good. So your first professional match was in 05 at the Star Plaza.
I think so. That's so, ooh, dang. That's gonna be 20
At the
years
Radisson.
ago next year.
Yeah, at the Radisson. And then you had a pretty much a winning streak right after that. I think they said you went 7-0.
17-0.
17-0, like straight, right? So talk to me a little bit about that experience coming into your first professional fight, whooping ass, but you in the packed house, you know what I'm saying? This is the Star Plaza.
So for me, when I first started boxing, my first fight, it wasn't even really about me. I didn't have as much support as I do today then, because nobody really cared about women boxing. I was only fighting for $100 a round at that time. So I went like it was a 4-round fight. I got $400 for it. So for me, at that time, it was just proving myself to everybody that I could really be this, because at the time, still was no females that was that good besides Layla Ali. And she was a anomaly. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to prove to people that I really was that, basically.
So would you say that Layla was maybe one of your first inspirations, or did you ever have any inspiration with boxing for females?
I was my own inspiration now that I sit back and think about it. I come from Gary. It wasn't nobody for me to look up to here that was a boxer, and nobody wanted me in the boxing gym, and they didn't think I could do it. So I wanted to be better than all the males that was in my gym, and I did become better than all the males in my gym. And that was kind of really what drove me. Like, I had other people that I looked at, like, of course you have people you look at and you study and say, yeah, if I do it this way, that might work, or that might work, but I put my own box together.
Right. That's dope, to be your own inspiration. Mm-hmm. Especially, like you said, coming out of Gary, well, who you seeing do this? Who you got to look up to?
And then they was telling me, like, especially back then, I think this 20 plus years ago now, women don't make money. I'm telling you, I was making $100 a round. I don't know why you choosing that as a career path. It's not gonna turn out to nothing to where I make more than I would make it my job in probably 5 years in one fight. So I went from people telling me that to basically making a whole path to where I can make a living off of it if I.
Yeah,
if I
I mean, even still though, when you look at some of these women, like I remember seeing Clarissa get her payday, and I'm like, that's so overdue. And it took her having a big ass mouth,
Yeah.
going around saying I'm the GOAT, I'm this, I'm that, for
Absolutely.
people to be like, damn, that girl is good,
Exactly.
and get her that payday. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
To the point now where she like, I'm not going overseas. Y'all coming to Flint. And I think
fight
that's
me, and she deserved that, and that's what some people don't understand. Like, they take it wrong because I respect her a lot because of the level that she had to go on for us to get paid. By her doing what she doing, there's a couple other female fighters that announced that we don't make the money that we supposed to make or whatever. If it wasn't for that, then we would not. All of us would be getting paid.
And I think the problem is just in America we don't invest into our women's sports.
No.
Because when you look overseas, the girls are making the money. And it's all American girls.
Man, they treated me like a celebrity when I went over there. I was like, dang, that's how they act over y'all over here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even you're starting to see it with the WNBA. It's like they got vocal. People like, we'll watch it. Y'all make it worth watching.
Interesting.
You know, and now they taking notes. So I think that's dope that y'all able to get that as well.
Yeah.
So after going 17-0,
Yeah.
my bad, packed out matches, then you go to a no contest against Rita. Your first no contest.
So that no contest was in the midst of the 17-0. So that was about 9-0 or somewhere in there.
Okay.
When I got that no contest for Rita Figueroa.
So yeah, that's why I messed up early, because that's what it said 7-0. You were 7-0. Then you had the no contest.
That fight. So a no contest is not a loss. It's a fight that they say just didn't happen. So it was a title fight. I think it was an 8-round title fight. And if somebody is accidentally injured halfway through, they go to the scorecards, or either they call the fight a no contest. So that's what happened with that.
So in the middle of the fight, how did she get injured?
Clash of heads, and with the clash of heads, she split open.
Oh.
And was bleeding. Yeah.
Like gushing from the head?
She was bleeding bad, yeah. So they
stopped the fight.
She could have opted to keep going, but I wouldn't. So I don't blame her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was gonna tear that cut up, but you know. Hey.
That's crazy. So after that, you still keep going on your winning streak. You still keep doing your big one. And then you get your first title, which was the WBA. Okay, yeah, WBA.
That was in Indianapolis. Ooh, let's bring it back some memories. I think I had just turned 21 then.
Yeah, take me through that. Take me through memory lane with that.
I forgot the girl name, my fault, but I technically wasn't supposed to be her, but I knocked her out. And I won a belt. I was with my coach. I remember that night. That was a big night for me because I had trained hard for that, and it was somebody that was a level up fight for me at that time.
Right.
A part of my career where they was testing me to see where I was at, and I rose to the occasion. So, yeah, and I won that belt.
But like, take me through that. Like, what was that like? Like,
See, that was so long ago. Because I done had some wonderful moments since then in boxing. So, but back then, I got drunk that night. That was the first time I ever got drunk. Because I was celebrating, I remember, and I was just so excited. I knew I was on my way. I knew that then beating somebody like that girl, I don't remember her name, but I knew it was a big fight for me to win. And beating her and actually stopping her would catapult my career in a different way. I would start getting phone calls from bigger name fighters.
Right.
Yeah.
So from there, you did.
I did. That's when I ended up getting a big fight here in my hometown with Christy Foreman.
Yep. So take me through that one, because that's the one where you won the IBF, right?
I won that's the big boy.
No, that one was because it was two more, I think, titles.
I won.
Because two of them was like, what is it called when nobody has it?
It's vacant.
That's what they called it online.
Right. It's when it's vacant and they put two champions together to fight for it.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So You won how many of those? 2?
2.
So what's that experience?
So my
like?
IBF, so to fast forward it, when I became 17-0, right? So we'll talk about this. So Christy Former was a name before me, a girl from Cedar Lake, Indiana, that was boxing, pretty big. She got to like 20. She got to like 25-2. She only had 2 losses, I think, by the time she retired, maybe, or something like that. But when we fought, she was 16-1. I was 16-0, and I was expected to lose that fight. And that was in Hammond, Indiana. We sold that venue out.
Yeah.
And I beat her to a 10-round match that night. But right after that fight, my brother was killed and my promoter died. So my career had took a real downturn after that. Like a couple months after that, I had a fight and I lost my first fight.
Yeah.
So now I'm 17-0,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sitting out for a while. My career kind of was messed up for years, really. Like I get a fight here.
And do you remember that fighter's name that you lost to?
Oh hell yeah, Brooke Dildor. You never forget who you lose to.
Okay.
See how I could remember that fight like yesterday. I can remember all of my losses vividly, but some of my wins. That's why when you ask me about some title fights, it's like I kind of don't have as good memories as I do. But when I lost to Brooke, I was depressed. For real.
And which hold on, this is your second or your first loss?
First loss, 17. I was.
Because I think you only have 4 total losses.
So my first, we'll go through my losses.
Okay.
My first loss was to Brooke Dildor from Chicago. I took that fight a couple months after my brother died, and the promoter that had ran my career from 0-0 to 17-0.
Yeah.
So then I took this fight with her, and I lost. I wasn't there. I didn't train right mentally. None of that. She beat me. She never gave me a rematch. I tried for years. I moved on with my career. So as I moved on with my career, for 2 years after I lost to Brooke, nobody paid me no attention.
And she took the title from you? Or no?
Wasn't no title fight then. It was just a fight.
Okay.
And she beat me. She took my O, which is big. 17-0. You beat me. So after that, and she really didn't do much with it, with the career afterwards. I think she retired. So for me, for 2 years, I'm pretty much sitting out. I'm not getting no fights. It's hard. I'm willing to fight for free at this point. So I'm 17-1. I end up getting a call out the blue to go to New Mexico to fight this girl named Victoria Cisnero. So they called me. They gave me 10 days. You want to come? You want to fight this girl? I called my coach and said, hey, you think I can beat Shorty? He said, yeah. I said, all right. I called him. Send me the tickets. We go. We go down there to fight. I knock her out. I ain't fought in 2 years. She on a winning streak. When I knock her out, Holly Holmes, you know who Holly Holmes is, she jump in the ring and say, I want to fight you next. All right. Bet. You know?
Right.
So me and her fight, she beat me to a 10-round fight. This fight was maybe a few months after that. So then after she beat me, I had a title fight scheduled for me in South America. So I scheduled to go to this fight in South America. I fight a girl named Erica Farias. She's undefeated, 20-0. She got a world title. Now, they screwed me around all the way to getting to this fight. I never make excuses for why I lost. I lost. But it was a lot going on with me getting to this fight or whatever. I didn't have no good management at the time because, like I told you, my promoter.
Hey, hold on, which loss is this? This is the 3rd or the 4th?
Third.
3rd, okay.
It's the 3rd. So then I go out there, I fight her. We fight a strong 10-round fight. She win the WBC title. I come back home. I kind of give up on boxing for a minute. Like, man, I lost my promoter. I done been doing this for years. They really just using me at this point to come be a gatekeeper. Like, Mary's a good fight. Go get her.
Go get her, yeah.
Yeah, bring her out here, fight her. That's what they're doing. So I decided to take my career in my own hands at this point. So now I got 3 losses. I come back to Gary. I fight here. I sell my own tickets.
And this is at the McBride Hall.
McBride Hall. That's when I did them couple fights. Brought the first girl here after I hadn't fought in a few years. I done had a baby. I had to heal from my C-section, all that. But I'm like, shit, I gotta believe in myself. Pick myself up, do this. So I'm out here selling tickets out of my trunk like a mixtape.
Period.
Get people from my city supporting me, buy these tickets, because I gotta pay for a girl to come to fight me. So I pay for a girl, I get a cheap girl from America. She want like $6,000 to $7,000. I pay her that. I gotta come up with about 10 because I gotta pay for her to get here, pay for her to eat and go home, and also pay for her to fight me.
Yep.
So I get her to come, I do the first fight. Everybody come. They not understanding at this time, I'm an elite boxer that's fighting for free in Gary.
Yep.
Because I have to pay my opponent to get myself back ranked. So then the next fight I do, I have to fight somebody with a bigger name because now I have a record of 20 plus wins, 3 losses. They're not gonna accept me fighting certain people. So now I find this one girl from Budapest, Hungary. She on the winning side of things. It's a good fight for me. But I gotta come up with almost 20,000 to get this girl here. So I'm getting sponsors, I'm selling tickets again. I'm doing all this. It was a great fight though. So I got her to come here. I got the sponsors that helped me pay for it. I paid for it, I barely made anything. So when I beat her, that got me in the rankings for that IBF world title.
Gotcha.
So then when I got in the rankings for the IBF world title, people don't understand, I had to wait for months and months for things to finally get into line to where it's like, Mary, are you ready? And when it was like, Mary, are you ready? It was 3 weeks before the fight. So I had to train from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. The fight was December 5th. So I had to go the whole year believing that this shit was gonna happen for me. And that's what people don't see.
Yeah,
While I'm also trying to pave my own way.
That's tough.
Make my own career. But I did it. And I took the fight. I said, yeah, I'm ready. Take it, we go to New York. We fight a girl that was, I think she was a 3 or 4 time world champion. So all the newspapers saying I'ma lose. They brought me out there to lose, to feed me to her. And I knocked her out. And now I'm the IBF world champion. Right. So now they put me in the rankings to where now big names like Eddie Hearns are talking about me. And they want me to fight people like Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor and things of that nature. So that's how I got on that stage. So we want to start from that point. And questions.
All right. I like that whole breakdown.
Yeah. That's kind of
because online is not. That's why I want to do this interview because I'm looking at online and the story just isn't clear, especially to somebody who not in the boxing world. Right. If you're trying to learn about Mary Mcgee, the most in-depth thing is this random blog. Right. And I mean, it's a lot of scrolling. It go from your first match all the way down. That's where I got most of my information. But again, I'm not a boxer, so all this UD, 97, 99. I don't understand what's going on. I'm just trying to get information. You know what I'm saying? So I liked that breakdown. I appreciate that. So you at this point, you get the IBF, right? People came out and seen you. I mean, I was in Texas. I was watching the fight on Facebook Live. Yeah. Because people were streaming it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Take me, you jumped up and down, you fell in the middle of the ring, crying.
Ooh, it was crazy.
Talk to me about them emotions.
Well, I ain't gonna say it was the best moment of my life. It was one of them that God gave me. That was one of the best moments of my life. Because whenever you start doing anything in life, you want to be the best at it towards the end or when you succeed. So to actually be giving something and saying you the best at this was the best thing I've ever felt in my life. And with that, it also brought me one of the biggest hurts in my life when I lost my title.
Come on, slow down. Slow down, because we gonna get there. We gonna get there. Because it's always a high rise and a long fall. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And as a person who did not partake, I didn't partake in that shit because I thought it was lame. Yeah. And I felt like you don't kick a person when they down. Start me from that morning before the fight. The morning of the fight.
I got to start you before that.
No, start me.
The week. So now, that fight was in 2021. And this story, I ain't never told publicly, but I'll tell now. I lost 13 pounds overnight for that fight. If they want to know how I lost, I feel as if I wasn't given the knowledge I was supposed to give before I left here to be properly prepared. I'm gonna send you 2 pictures. When you post this video, I want you to use them 2 pictures of me. And you will see the difference in my health the day I left and the day on the scale, you're gonna be like, God damn, and you fought like that and fought my ass off like that. So when I left here, every fighter be within, some fighters be 20 pounds overweight before the weigh-in. Anybody that's a real fighter or anybody that's an athlete know what I'm talking about. And when you gotta make weight, you lose weight over the course of the days leading up to the fight or whenever you gotta be on the scale. That's how we do it. Been doing it for years. So England got this rule where once you get off the plane and you get there for the fight, you gotta be within 3% of the weight. So 3% is like 3 pounds over. Ain't nobody weighing that. So, but if you're not, you gotta start losing weight immediately. So as soon as I got there, remind you, the plane ride 10 hours. You jet lag, I'm tired, I wanna rest. As soon as I got there, they started making me lose weight. The whole time.
Was you educated about that before you?
No.
Okay.
Didn't know nothing about that 3 pound weight cut. If I would have knew before I left Gary, Indiana,
You would have been on that.
I wouldn't have did that to myself. It's too much stress to try to drop weight as soon as you get there. When I got about 8 or 9 days. I'm here early, so I got a pound I could lose today, eat a certain way slowly so I'm healthy when it's time to fight. No, I had to start losing weight. So when I got there, I dropped like 8 pounds. Trying to, and I still wasn't enough for them because they wanted me to be within 3 pounds. And when you're riding on the plane, anybody that has knowledge knows that you can gain within 2 or 3 pounds of water weight just by sitting on this plane, you know? So with that being said, it's like, dang, I'm trying to lose weight. So I tell my manager, I tell my coach now, while I'm in the room, they like, she got to lose a couple more pounds. I said, man, I can't do it. And my manager was like, be quiet, we gonna handle this, we gonna handle this. I'm like, all right, cool. So when we leave, they come to me later on, they like, nah, champ, you gotta get the weight off. I'm like, I thought y'all said y'all was gonna take care of that. Nah, you gotta do it. So I'm doing this in and out the sauna thing, in and out of the hot tub, draining my weight off. I'm not drinking no water for days. I'm not eating no food for days. And I make the weight, but when I get to the weigh-in, we gotta see a doctor. When I'm talking to the doctor talks to me, my hearing go out because I'm dehydrated. And I looked at my coach, I said, hey, you gotta talk to him because I can't hear him. And if they realized I couldn't hear, they would have canceled the fight. I need the money right now. We're not canceling this fight. Yeah. I need the money and I'm not finna just lose my belt. I done suffered this hard to get 13 pounds up off my body. I'm fighting. So in the other room, we in this big venue. In the other room, it's like 1,000 people. Like you said, them people in the country be big on the fight. It's like 1,000 people in there celebrating. I go to a whole nother room by myself and I lay in the corner because I'm weak. So I tell my cousin, I was like, hey, come get me when it's my turn. So my cousin, she come get me, she like, hey, it's your turn. So I'll go in there, I get on the scale. After I get on the scale, I make weight. The other girl make weight, you know what I'm saying? That's that, we leave. At this point, now my body in shock because I'm trying to drink fluids to get my body back. So I'm shaking and shit. I wake up in a cold sweat. All this the night before I fought Chantel. I wake up in a cold sweat, you know what I'm saying, because I drained too much water out of my body. I'll never do that to myself again in my life. Mm-hmm. I put myself at a disadvantage, and then I still went out there and fought 10 rounds.
Yeah, because you still held your own, but like mercilessly.
Yeah.
But damn.
I see, if I would have told this story back then,
nobody would have gave a fuck.
They still don't. But if I would have said it then,
I think though. So this is what I think too. I think that the internet is undefeated, and I think people don't give a fuck and they don't have no remorse because it's not about them.
True.
You know, I'm one of them rare people that like. Sometimes I'm an empath, and I be like, I suffer from secondhand embarrassment. I hate to see people be embarrassed. Just don't like it. It's just not one of the things that I enjoy.
Right.
So when I was seeing it go on, I'm watching the fight on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers like, man, Mary finna lose. I don't know, Mary this, Mary that. So you lose. Of course, your world is shattered.
Yeah.
And then do you immediately get on your phone? Do you sit with your team? Like, take me after the congratulations, you know, the sportsmanship, you walk off. Take me through that. Was it throwing shit? Did you automatically get on your phone? Then you see this bullshit? Like, take me through
I didn't get on my phone until, matter of fact, I didn't really see no bullshit until I think when me and my cousin, everybody was on our way to the airport. Because I was so shocked and I was angry with God. I didn't care about nobody else at the time. I was so angry. Like, why did you give me this and then take it from me like this? Like, I was like, I couldn't perform. Like, I was so mad because I felt as if I was there. Everything was in front of me. Like, how many people from Gary can say they made it to a world stage, had everything in front of them, and then because somebody drained all the weight up out of you or whatever the case may be, and then I blame myself too, to be here at this stage, and then it was like, I can't perform right now. So I blame God. So at that time, I hate talking like that.
It's okay. We got to get it out.
So at that time, I was thinking about all the years, all the time that I had, I didn't think I was going to do that. Fuck it. I was thinking about all the years, all the time that I had put into my career. And then I'm here and I can beat this girl, you feel me? I can beat her. And because of how my body felt, I couldn't do it. And then everybody here was riding my back, riding my shoulders, like, oh, when I found out, like, oh, we made bets, Mary lost, and all this and the third. But I ain't gonna lie, I thank y'all for that though. Because now it made me a whole nother person. Like, now, thank you. Now, if people put that on me, I don't think it will bother me as much as it did before. Because really, I'm more so bothered by the fact that people don't know, like, 20-something years you putting in work in something that nobody saw the light in. Because, I mean, well, wasn't nobody else before me. And then to get here to this stage and then, dang, you lose everything, that's hard.
For me.
Yeah, that's hard.
I think that, like I said, I think the rise is high and the fall is long.
Yeah.
But whenever we always going through a storm at some point in our life, rather we going into one, in the middle of one, or coming out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to keep that bird eye view of your life. Because when we in that valley, sometimes it feel like, damn, I'm never finna get up out this bitch. But it's just the course to the top.
True.
Again.
True.
You get what I'm saying? And you gonna be there again.
Yeah.
So did the girl ever want to rematch?
So, I'm gonna tell y'all. So, me and her got into it for a while after that because I wanted a rematch so bad. Because it was like, to me, usually when a world champion lose their title, they give them a rematch. They give them another fight.
chance.
But it seemed like, and I hate to say it like this, it seemed like us, people from where I'm from, don't get those opportunities. You know what I mean? It's like, once you got it, you better hold on to it. Because if they get it from you, they ain't gonna never give it back. So it was like, I was like scratching for a rematch with the girl. And I realized at one point, I'm like, well, that ain't gonna happen. That's over with, you know? But then one day out of the blue, a couple years, like I say about 6 months ago, she made a post. You know how Instagram, they do this thing, ask a question. And somebody asked her, they said, so what was the hardest fight you ever had? And she said, to be honest, my hardest fight was with Mary Mcgee. She said, Mary.
You wasn't even 100%.
She said, Mary changed my whole style of fighting. She said, fighting her made me, and she's fought girls that they consider the best, like Katie Taylor, girls like that. And she said, I was the hardest fight. And honestly, her doing that picked me up somewhat, because like, as you see, I still get emotional when I talk about it. But her doing that picked me up a little bit, made me realize, like, damn, Mary, you actually really was in there. Like, you let all that outside shit get to you, but you really is still that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you was that even before the title.
Yeah. So, you know, I needed that, what she said.
Yeah.
It gave me what I needed.
That's respect. So, but she ain't never want to give you the rematch, though.
She might one day.
Right.
Might have to. You know how that go.
So, it's been a lot of talks on the internet. I know some stuff you can talk about, some stuff you can't.
Right.
Whoa, Clarissa Shields. I done seen y'all hanging out. I done seen her at one of your fights. I done seen her commenting on your stuff. I done seen y'all talking before, so I know y'all cool on some, at least on a professional level.
Yeah.
So why Glow? Why Clarissa Shields?
I'm gonna break this down right here, cause now let me make this clear to everybody that's watching and that's paying attention. The relationship between me and the GOAT. The GOAT is still my friend. I'm gonna keep that real. I ain't gonna sit here and disrespect her. But at the end of the day that I put on the gloves and decided to box, I said I wanted to be the best. Who is the best right now? The GOAT, right? So in order to be the best, you gotta beat the best. She made an offer for $100K.
Can't.
How many of us get to throw them hands for $100K?
Hey, you feel me? Hey, put me in the ring. Fucking time.
Friend, foe, whatever it is. She
It's
said
win or lose
100K. I said, well,
It's win or lose 100K?
I mean, I think she said if you win, it's $100K. So the point is, she made the post for the $100K or whatever. I was getting tagged all in the post or whatever. So I said, well, then shit, me and my kids can use that $100K.
You feel me?
Clarissa said she said, well, don't bring the kids because I'm going to whoop you. And I mean, shit. So that's real talk. That's how she really feel. But my thing is, with me and Clarissa, one day I feel it's going to be a real boxing match, not like what she talking about. Started off as like, I feel she was talking to randoms in that post, but it led to something different between me and her that might end up leading to like
something real.
Right. That's why I said it's a lot of things I can't talk about as far as that go, because since me and her both professionals and we agreed to box, it puts it on another level.
Another level, yeah.
Right. So, but I'm gonna say this: me and her had came up with this thing where, so she was saying she's auditioning girls in her city to box, and I figure I get a team too, and we go out there and kick their ass.
Hey, I'm on GI. I
mean, for real, they gonna win money. Y'all could win the money. So we ain't got no fighters out here. And since me and her already discussing fighting each other, I figure I could take a few of y'all along with me. We probably come up with another champ.
I ain't gonna lie. Y'all probably should start a show on Zeus Network.
Come on now.
For the love of boxing.
Be smart, wouldn't it?
You know what I'm saying? Like how Jocelyn got the cabaret. Boxing.
The baddies, all these different little, shows they got going on.
That'd be decent. Hold on one second.
Okay.
If you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Muhammad Ali. I said that quick, didn't I?
You did.
Why? Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was the epitome of a human being. Like, he was a champion, but he was willing to give up his championship for his people. He really only cared about having like a fancy car or a lot of money so he could uplift people in the ghetto. He believed in God. He had losses on his record, but it didn't define him. Like, so much I can say. I regret I never met that man. Like,
for sure.
I got a big tattoo of him on my leg.
Straight?
I love Muhammad.
Love Muhammad. Biggest. What's the most expensive thing you ever purchased?
My house.
What's the dumbest thing you ever purchased?
A few lemons, some cars.
Hey, we all been there.
Lemons, that was the dumbest purchases I ever made.
What's the craziest thing you heard about yourself online?
The craziest thing I heard about myself online. I was a bully.
All right. So I said that I was gonna say this to you. I say, put the gloves on and fight me, because I've been trying to interview you for 4 years. I even ran down on you.
Yeah, one day I was running.
And when you was running, what's to it with Gary people? Hold on. What's to it with you Gary people who have made it? And when people try to reach out to y'all and interview y'all or work with y'all on a media level, y'all kind of get us y'all ass to kiss.
So I wasn't giving my ass to kiss. I say blame my head and not my heart. I never meant intentionally to be like that. So at the time, 4 years ago, was the time you ran around when I was finna win my title. Mm-hmm. After I lost, I won the title, but I was getting ready to go to England. So we at the time, because that fight was a little over 3 years ago. Then after I lost the fight, I was so depressed, I didn't want to be interviewed. I just was like in the hole for a minute, and I'm finally really starting to come up out of it. Yeah, so that's kind of how that went. You kind of caught me in my...
I respect that.
Yeah.
What's your message to the world?
Never give up on your dreams. No matter what they are, you ain't never too old. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. I'm sitting here the only ever professional female world champion from Gary, Indiana, a city where if you drive down our Broadway, you probably won't see a light. But
for sure.
I blaze my own path here in this city. So don't listen to what nobody say and keep following whatever it is you got a passion for. That's what I tell you.
What's next for Mary McGee?
What's next for me is I'm finna put myself back out there. I'm finna give it my all again and become a real champion. And I'm finna go after the GOAT. I think I'm the first to beat the GOAT. And yeah, that's
Well,
what
you know we gonna support you. You know we gonna support you.
I like when people, they've been denying me and, they've been saying, like when people put that, what do you call that spirit? Doubt. That spirit of doubt gives me a spirit of, well, I need to see this.
Yeah.
You gotta show me this.
Show me.
So, yeah, you got to show me now. So, it's gonna be a great fight. I plan on winning. I think y'all should follow my career going off into this. This really like my last run because I've aged to the point to where, like, physically I might not be able to box in the next few years, but I'm finna give it my all.
Give it your all while you still can.
Give it my all. And y'all got anybody out there in my city that wanna box, female in particular, come join me so I could give you all I got before I'm Snake.
All right, get the people your socials.
You can follow me on Facebook. It's Mary McGee. McGee is spelled MCGEE for those of you that don't know. And it's Mary McGee _champion on Instagram. And shit, we ain't gonna have TikTok long, so we ain't gonna worry about that.
Right. Well, all right, man. Thank you for the interview, man.
All right, nah, thank you.
Appreciate you
Thanks
for coming
having
through.
me.
All right.